It's here. Anything like this was expected. The England players going off, shaking their heads. We've had some 28 minutes of play. And a terrible sight down there in that part of the ground. And any of you who know and have experienced the warmth of the Republic fans travelling in recent times around the world and not giving one iota of trouble will feel here that the England supporters, and I use that word advisedly, have created this stoppage that will make headlines sadly around the world and bring further evidence to the feeling that crowd trouble is back with us, when earlier in the 90s it looks as though the problem had been curtailed and controlled. It is, of course, a minority, but a minority that can inflict terrible hardship on millions who love the game and who, like all of you watching, will be appalled at what is going on at the moment. The Gardaí, the local police here, have been on full alert all day, I can tell you that.
Thank you very much.
I don't know whether Nick Collins has got any more news from ground level. Nick?
Yeah, no, still a lot of people standing looking up at the area where the trouble started with the England fans, but we're just waiting to see what's going to happen. There's a big area being cleared in the lower area of seating where England are. The Garda are there. We're just really waiting to see if anything further is going to happen at this stage as they try to restore order. Martin.
Nick, you're looking from pitch level. Has it been a case of throwing seats? There've been obviously debris thrown onto the pitch.
Well, there's been bits of wood have come down. It looks like benches that seem to land on English supporters down. But here comes some more. A whole entire benches are coming down. More missiles are being thrown from the top tier where England fans are. The Garda are going in to try and sort it out. They're all landing on the lower level. There's a huge gap now appeared where the debris has been thrown down onto.
And Nick, can you confirm that that is a section which it is England fans totally causing the trouble?
Difficult to see at the moment, but it looks that way. As the players left the field, I had a very quick word with David Platt to find out whether any of the players saw much, but he said that they didn't really, and no, he confirmed that none of the players were actually struck by any missiles.
Well, this is a fixture that was put together for England's benefit, and it's now looking very much as though it's going to be to England's shame. Watching back in London, Alan Ball and Jerry Francis with Richard Keys. Gentlemen, a reaction from you.
Thank you, Martin. Astonishment back here in the studio, I think. We, as you were saying, Martin, did feel that this had left us. Alan Ball, what do you make of the pictures that you're looking at?
Can't quite believe it, actually. I'm ashamed of them people. They call themselves English supporters. Football shouldn't be subjected to this. It's awful.
The pity is, Jerry, just picking up the point that Martin made there, these Irish football fans are such good football supporters that, I mean, for this to happen anywhere, it shouldn't, but at Lansdowne Road of all places.
Yeah, they're magnificent. I mean, I was in Italy for the 1990 World Cup, and they were there, and they were fantastic. Credit to their country, and obviously it's a shame we can't say that same for our supporters at the moment. You know, I can't see, it's absolutely senseless throwing wood or benches on top of people's heads. I don't see that you can be a human being to do that, to be perfectly honest.
I've got Kevin Moore and Richard, of course, with me. Kevin, a view from the Irish perspective.
Well, I feel almost sorry for the good English supporters, you know, the English game as such, because that's what's going to happen. This is what these mindless thugs do. They bring down the whole of the English game as such, you know, and as you say, you know, that's what's going to be level with it. What's going to happen? What's the English game in? What state is it in now? And it's a shame. Believe me, Irish people over here know that it's only a small crowd that do it, you know. But look at you look out on the pitch now. It stopped the full game. It's terrible.
It stopped what was a very entertaining, exhilarating, almost half an hour of football. And you have to say, looking at scenes like this, that you just wonder about the whole concept of staging the European Championships in England. That will surely be brought into question now. And again, if that was changed, it would deny so much to so many, all caused by so few. But until those few can be identified and stopped.
Well, that's true. It's a question of, will they look now at the European Championships next season? You know, how will UEFA look upon this? How will FIFA look upon this now, and the English supporters?
Well, there's a situation now, not for hooliganism, but for medical reasons, where the World Youth Championship, which is due to be staged in Nigeria, has actually been put on hold. So these things can be changed, and that's to be played next month. But we continue here to watch with bewilderment at the stupidity of it all, and the dreadful sorrow that what was a most enjoyable match, well, we wonder now whether it will be restarted. We can only hope so, Kevin.
Yeah, but I don't even believe the fact England went down, a goal down. That makes absolutely no difference. They were set on doing this from the very beginning. I heard even today that 30 or 40 of them were turned back as soon as they came into Dublin airport, because the police over here knew who they were. You know, and this was reported in and around Dublin today, that, you know, certain minds, certain elements were coming over, and it's so difficult to track them down, and it's really to actually stop them before coming in.
Well, we hope now that some order could be restored, but we're still a long way away from it. And in the midst of it down there, Nick Collins is trying to keep us up to date. Nick, go.
Well, the referee has just gone back out onto the pitch to have a look to see what's going on, but it's still fairly chaotic down here, Martin. Obviously, as soon as we get a decision from him, we'll relay it to you, but he's really just gone for a preliminary look to see what the situation is. There's a few people actually starting to walk away at the moment. We're behind a barrier at the moment. It's difficult to see what's going on. There's still a few missiles being thrown by the looks of it. Another bench has been thrown down onto the lower tier. Very sad scenes.
One of the facets of the Football Association these days is to have a proper travel club with members so that they know who comes over, who gets the tickets. Like you, Kevin, I also got the drift that there were a number of suspicious characters, shall we say, who are being shadowed by the Gardaí here as to what their reasons were for entering the country.
But and even though security is tight around the ground, there wouldn't be the same security cameras in that you'd have in the Premier Division ground. So the thugs up there know that they're not going to be videoed. They know they can mingle in the crowd again, and they can get away if they want to.
Well, some are getting away the way we'd all like to see, being marched off by the forces of law and order. If you've just joined us, we had 27 minutes or so of flowing football, more flow to the football than possibly we've seen in recent times between England and the Republic of Ireland. England had conceded a goal, expertly fashioned by the Irish, with John Sheridan putting David Kelly through. Great scenes of joy here then for Ireland, but now they're wondering why they invited England at all, because, as we've said before, the Republic didn't need this fixture. It's almost a personal favour from Jack Charlton to Terry Venables, because England have been scrabbling around in a rather undignified way, trying to increase the preparation matches for the head coach at a time when so many countries are involved in competitive fixtures. England, you might remember, played the Republic at B level at Anfield in December, and it was almost a barroom chat after that when Terry and Jack got together and said, come on, let's have a game. Where do you want to play it? It could have been played at Wembley, which now, of course, you wonder why it hadn't.
But as you said, it was a decision made. It only takes mindless, what, maybe 100 in amongst 4,000. You must remember, 4,000 English supporters are up there at the moment. and it doesn't take an awful lot to cause that sort of mayhem.
Well, Nick Collins has been checking perhaps with the referee. Nick, any more news for us?
We're still waiting to hear whether what the referee's decision is. He's just disappeared back inside. We're going to go down there and try and get a word with him and see what he says, see if we can get anything official.
Well, as you can see, it's a state of suspended animation here, really. Players down in the dressing room wondering what's happening. Some lawful fans just getting onto the pitch, really, to draw breath. They'll have to be cleared off, of course, but there's no hint of trouble here. Large number of stewards amongst them, as you can see. Richard, back in the studio, we're trying to make sense of it for you all, but you're watching in a more detached way. There's just a terrible feeling of dismal sadness, sorrow, say what you like. Shame is the word that constantly comes to mind.
Martin, it's awful. It's bad enough what we're looking at, but what particularly galls me is the idiots that have caused this are standing up there actually enjoying what they've done, which is extraordinary. Alan Ball and Jerry Francis are with us. Alan, that young lad's face says an awful lot,
doesn't it?
That is
I mean, he's gone out with his dad to see it's probably his heroes from England, the players. He's probably only sort of read about them in magazines, and his dad said, come on, I'll take you along to watch them play and see them in the flesh and live football. And they're subjected to, as you say, mindless people, ruining everybody's night all over the country. And they are in the minority, unfortunately. But it's followed us all around the world the last few years, and it's you know, it is, I'm ashamed, to be quite honest.
You're not the only one, Alan. We thought we'd seen the last of it, but there's been
Richard,
evidence in the last...
come across
Sorry,
you.
Martin, go on.
Richard, we're just hearing the announcement that the game is abandoned. So the ultimate price has been paid here for the folly of a few. And I suppose, as you've been saying in the studio, they will think they've had a good night's work. For the rest of us who came to watch a meaningful game of football, England's first away game, and it might be their last for some time under Terry Venables. Who on earth is going to want to entertain the England football team and those who come with them, or somehow get into grounds that purport to come with them in the future? And as I say, and I would like to hear the response from Jerry and Alan, the whole question of the European Championships now will be raised, and whether England should stage it after what's happened here tonight.
Thank you, Martin. They shouldn't let them out, should they? They should nick the lot, because somebody in there knows who was doing that. I mean, this is just extraordinary, isn't it? And, of course, immediately we do start speculating about Euro 96 and what right England will have to stage such a competition on the back of what we've seen here tonight. We came into this so much looking forward to the evening, and the mood in here is one of desperation. Alan Ball and Jerry Francis are with us. What right does England have, Jerry, to be thinking about Euro 96, or is that knee-jerk at this point to be speculating in that way?
It's a difficult question. I mean, you're not condoning anything, but there are millions of really good football supporters in this country who I don't think should be deprived of seeing a spectacle.